Hold on.
Walk us through a little bit of it. At the G20, you were bending over to pick up a cigarette, or you were told this later, you had no idea.
No, I know what I was doing. I was bending over to pick up a cigarette, but they accused me of trying to flatten a tire on a bus. I didn't know anything about a bus. I didn't even know what G20 stood for. Matter of fact, I still don't know what it stands for. I just know it's a bunch of people show up and act like assholes.
Maybe that's what it stands for.
Could be. That's what the G's for.
For the citizens of Toronto, the days up to and including the weekend of the G20 will live in infamy as a time period where martial law set in the city of Toronto, leading to the most massive compromise of civil liberties in Canadian history.
That's the people, that's the police. What are they doing to these people? They're terrifying. Where do they want them to move to? Where do they want them to move to?
I was just coming down the side of the street and I saw the cigarette butt, so I figured, well, what the hell? Hell, I smoke, so.
So that looked appealing.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have any. So. I tried to bend over like that when I was coming up. The police came from the front and behind. They were bike cops because they were yellow. And they would say, well, what are you trying to do there? Why are you doing that? I'm like, well, what are you talking about? And then they said, you're trying to flatten a tire. I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't even know the damn bus was there. But they accused me of trying to flatten a tire on a bus. I didn't know anything about a bus. You know, it's hard enough to pick up a cigarette.
Would you even be able to flatten a tire with your mobility?
No. I got to unscrew all that, and are you kidding me? That's what the hell I want to do all that for. And then the cops came from the front of the bus and from behind, and instead of handcuffing me to the chair, they handcuffed me behind. They left me just laying over there like that. And then after that, they took me to a cage and left me in there for a couple of days.
Take off. Canada, that's something. This ain't Canada right now.
This is in Canada right now?
No.
Wow.
No. We're in G20. That's right. You're in
G20.
Fast forward 2010, we bring back to life a 1939 act that leads to the arrest of over 1,000 people with 99 charges outstanding. To me, that's disturbing.
Yeah, they left me in a cage and they took the wheelchair. And I didn't have my nurse, my medication, nothing at all. And just let me out that morning and gone, you know.
Did you drink or eat at all while you were in there?
I couldn't. I couldn't do anything. I was laying on the floor. Everybody stayed a big circle away from me because I didn't smell good. You know, I didn't look good either. I'm just laying there on the floor. There's nothing I can do. And there's like, 16 people in there, and it's not a real big cage. So,
Well, there's video of you getting water at one point, but it was,
Yeah.
you told me it was,
yeah.
what color was it? You didn't drink much of it because
No. It was supposed to be orange juice, I think, but it looked more like piss. I don't know. It didn't look drinkable, put it like that.
Do you remember in your cage at all trying to transfer where you had a manual chair and they tried to You tried to transfer to sleeping on the bench. That's how you ended up on the floor. We got video of it. It's not good.
No, I don't imagine it is. But I didn't ask to be there. And I'm still alive. I'm still here.
So did any of them apologize or anything, or?
None of them would even let me know who they were. They all had covered, but the badges were covered. You couldn't see nothing, you know.
So they weren't familiar to you?
No, the only one that was familiar to me was the staff sergeant that got me out of there. And he recognized me from before on the streets and asked me what the hell I was doing in there. I said, I have no idea. He said, oh, wait. 5 minutes later, he came back and said, get him out of here. And that was the only thing that got me out. You know, and it was because he knew me from before. And when I told him what was going on, he said, well, when he put me on the bus to bring me back, he smiled. He said, oh, and don't be flattening any more tires. I was like, so that's what they were charging me with, was trying to flatten the tires.
In the 4 years before the G20, Toronto police killed 7 people. In the 4 years after, they've killed 20. It's impunity. They got away with it. They got away with it on a massive scale.
If the bubble touches me, I'm going to be arrested for assault. Do you understand me?
Bubbles.
Yes, that's right. It's a deliberate act on your behalf. I'm going to arrest you.
The only solution is to tackle their culture, this belief that their job is to make people comply. It is not their job to make people comply. It is their job to work with communities. It is their job to protect people. And whenever you hear the police talk now, all you hear is about how they were ensuring officer safety comes first. And the people's safety comes last. And this is not what we pay over $100,000 for some of these people to do. We pay them to show some courage. We pay them to show some smarts. We pay them to show some compassion and some ability to understand how to do their jobs. And if they can't do it, we need them off the service, and we need people there who do know what they're doing. We want our money back.
We want our money back.